Okay. Good morning. Good morning. See how many people we have so far. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna start jump right in right now. We've been taking a little long in the prior ones due to technical issues, but good morning. Wednesday, new day. Little foggy and cloudy here where I live. As you saw, whoever saw my post this morning early, it was really foggy. It was beautiful out in my little run that I took this morning. But let's start with a minute of silence for victims of this virus and families, relatives. So like you've been doing it while everybody else starts, or the participants starts to join. Okay. All right, here we are. How are you today? How has been? How was the week? It's been an interesting week this past week, at least for me. Starting to get really busy and been going out a lot more. I see that people are starting to loosen up a little bit. Some restaurants are, open the doors a little bit more. More people I feel comfortable going out and walks and runs. I think it's very important to do that. I think it's very important to go and have a contact with nature, get some oxygen going, get some sun in your skin to boost that vitamin B and vitamin D. So let's chat a little bit about what's going to happen today. We're going to talk today about a bunch of interesting stuff, and I'm going to actually dedicate a big portion of this this talk to open it up for questions, because I see that a lot of times a lot of people write questions and I don't have the time to respond. So we're going to leave a good amount of time for that and make it more interactive. All right, so this will be, I think, the fifth time that we're doing this. I called it episode number 5. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I've been doing myself, actually, because I fail in a lot of things. I think we're all humans fail, and I think that it's important to recognize. I think that in order to succeed, you need to fail a lot, and so I practice with myself, and I practice a lot, and I practice about working from the inside out. If you realize we live now in a society, our generation is probably one of the world history, of all generations, the easiest, most comfortable generation. I mean, it's so easy for us to do everything compared to other generations. If you really think about it, you look down. We have technology, we have science, we have everything that has made our lives so easier and so comfortable, grocery stores that, things that didn't exist before. And I think that the humanity has been so focused on trying to improve so much those external things like technology, science, this and that. And now we find ourselves that that's actually not helping us, so I think that there are two parts of it. There's work you need to do into external stuff, and then you need to do work from the internal stuff. And the way I look at it, that is, if you can work from inside out, it has a better outcome. If you can work on yourself, if you can work in improving, and you can work on learning and getting better, and working from learning how to be happy in the place you are, from the point where, if you're going to give, which is one of the best things to do, is give and help others. And if you're going to give, don't wait to have $1 million to give $100,000. I mean, I think it's important that if you have $10 right now, you should give 50 cents or $1 or whatever, if you don't have the ability to give from the place you are, I can probably guarantee you won't be able to have the ability to give when you have more. I kind of think, and I could be wrong with this, but just again, this is just my opinion. This is me talking, and I could be talking shit. But I think that money, it just enhances people's attributes and faults. So if you are a generous person, when you have a lot of money, you give more, and the opposite. So if we start working from the inside and getting to know who we are, who we really are, and we're preparing ourselves, I think that we're gonna be happier. Also, you're happy right now with whatever you are, and I know that it's easy to fall into thinking about, yeah, but I don't have this, I don't have that. All those are choices. I mean, the situations just are, and we can make them worse or not. We can make it, really look a lot worse than what it is. I always use the example as parking tickets. Sometimes you get a parking ticket and you go back to your car and there's the parking ticket in the windshield, and then you grab it and you see it and you're so angry, and then you look at it, it's like, what? You look around and you look at it, and then you read how much it is, and then you get in your car and you put it in the seat next door, and you're thinking about it, and, well, I should have come 5 minutes earlier. Your mind starts just going crazy about all that stuff. But the reality is, like, okay, you got a ticket, it's there, you have it, it's not going to change, you can go back in time. Nothing that you do is going to change that situation. Now the choice is ours. We have the choice to say, you know what, I'll pay it. And that's what I normally do. I decided one day years ago to just grab it, write a check, put it in, send it, because the most amount of time that I left it on my desk, think about this. You wake up the next day, you probably forgot about it. You get to your office, you see the ticket in there, and you get again upset. You get again those feelings. And then if you do that for a week, I mean, what would you do that? I mean, that's not going to change. You need to find ways how to solve it, how to solve that problem, pay the check, gone. Next day you go to your office, you forget already about it. So, and that's an example, that's another example on how things can be dealt with, Now, what I'm going to do is I talk a little bit about, how most cultures right now have really focused on the external stuff. How is it possible that, in a country like the United States, such a the most influent country in the world, how is it possible that 70% of the people are under prescription medication? I mean, why? Why is that happening? Obviously, something is not working in there, So, it's easy to go and have a problem and go and get a pill to make you forget about the problem, or get a pill to help you sleep, or whatever it is. Why don't you work in the real issue, what's inside, and see what is the problem? How can I solve that in a more holistic way? How can I solve that from inside, so I don't have to be using drugs to get better or feel better? I mean, we don't need that stuff. I mean, there's cases where we need it, and you're sick or something, but the reality is, like, there are a lot of people that just find that this is solution. So I think that we need to kind of change us from inside, so everybody can change, and there can be a bigger change. I mean, there's so many options that you can do other than that. And that's just one example of what people have been focusing on. Think about all the values, what's important. I mean, and that's why this time I think is so wonderful. I mean, this time is so great that we need to take advantage of it, and a lot of us been forgetting about. And you know what? It's getting closer to the time we're going to open up the doors, and we're going to have to go back to our normal routines and lives. And hopefully we learn, and we're taking advantage of this time to do the things that we normally don't have the time to do, and to appreciate the things that we normally don't appreciate, and just really soak into this moment. I mean, let's make these times a positive, out of this whole thing. One of the other things I wanted to talk about is, like, talking about feeling good, talking about working from the inside out. Think about this. You have an intelligent body, okay? You have all the cells. You have your skin. Your skin's formed with cells. Cells, everything that you have in your body is all connected. I believe that it's all energetically connected. It's all energy. So if you go around feeling depressed, if you go around beating yourself, if you go around not feeling good, you really, if you think about it, you're confusing your body. You're sending a message to every cell in your body. I mean, because life is, you have a life, right? We all have expiration dates. You're born and then you die. So if you go on life thinking how bad it is, how sad you are, how depressed you are, how heavy you feel, how unmotivated you are, and all those things, the message that you send into every single cell in your body is, I want to die. It's not worth it. Is I'm not happy. I'm not worth it. This is, so your body reacts to that feeling that you're feeling, and it starts to develop disease. It's like, okay, well, he's done here. He's shortening his race. So let's help him get to the finish line faster. And that's when diseases that I believe developing, stress, cancer, developing cancer cells and all that stuff. I mean, it's proven that by feeling good, by being happy, and that's why exercise is so good, by getting those hormones released with the endorphins and all that we discussed in episode 2 or 3, I think, it actually heals your body because you send in the message, I love life, I love living, I love going out, I love enjoying with friends, I enjoy my family, my partner, I enjoy this cup of coffee. If you live your life that way, then the message you send into your body and your cells and everything is like, oh man, I enjoy here. I want to prolong this race as long as possible, So if you look into like countries that have elderly people they have really happy, simple lives, and they really, culturally or whatever, enjoy life better. There is less disease. If you live under pressure, under stress, and all those kind of things, is going to shorten your lifespan. So that's why I wanted to just kind of cover this. I was listening and reading some books of Sadhguru. I don't know if you know who that is. And he touched that point, and it really got to me. It really got to my heart. And it's like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. We have an intelligent body that is connected, and every time we're thinking about something, we just send in the message, and we don't confuse this. Let's make sure that we're clear. We need to be clear on what we want. We need to be clear on who we are. Once we have clarity, and then we send in direct messages. I think I mentioned this before. When you speak something, when you say something, make sure that you speak something that you mean, right? When you say, for example, I have a couple of showings this afternoon. I'm gonna be like, maybe I'll sell a house today. No, when I sell a house today. Well, I will sell a house today. So that gives a different meaning, and then you pick up on that, and then it gives a different result too. Okay. Last week, someone asked me, and I can't remember who, it was Amanda, what if I'm doing everything? What if I'm meditating? What if I'm visualizing? What if I'm doing everything that we're talking about and it doesn't work? So if you think and really analyze that, it's not working. What if I do all that and it doesn't work? The way I look at that is he already feels that he's failed. And so why try? I mean, if you think that you're going to do all that thinking that it's not going to work, and that's coming from a place of fear. That's coming from a place of fear where it's like, what if I do all this, it doesn't work? It's like, it's like, it doesn't really make any sense. So the way I look at it is, you can think if I do all this, it's not going to work. And because there's two elements of it, right? There's the reality element that, well, if I sit in this couch in my house all day long, meditating and visualizing and doing all that, and do nothing but that, well, of course it's not going to work. I mean, we need to also take a realistic point of view. You need to work. I mean, I've done all these exercises. I learn about all this stuff. I do my visualization for the last 12 years. What I share with you about what my personal birthday is going to be when I reach certain age, 42. All those things that I do, but I didn't just sit down and watch and felt good about it. That's great. That's what you need to do to send that message out to God, to the universe, on what direction you're going. But you got to do the work. I mean, massive work, I mean, massive amount of work. I mean, the work ethic is one of the most important things. I don't care what kind of job you are. I mean, you really need to get out and put the work. You put the hours. I mean, because by putting the hours and putting the work is going to help get where you desire your goals to come and become reality. So you can just sit down and hope that by doing all this and being positive and being happy and just being meditating and everything, things are just going to appear. all that's going to help you get the opportunities. It's going to help you meet the person that's going to give you that opportunity, or meet the person that's going to introduce you to your future, partner for life. Um, all those opportunities are going to start coming. But if you're in your own environment and you're not putting the work and putting yourself out there and putting that energy out there that you believe that that's going to happen if you work really hard, then you won't meet that person out in the street. You won't meet that opportunity. You won't get that phone call. You can enclose yourself only in just meditating all day long. So for that person they asked last week, I hope this makes sense. I would say the two parts. One is, you got to do all that, but you got to put the work. So whatever you do, I mean, for me, when I start doing this, I was like fired up, and I was like, I'm going to put the work, because it's like planting again, it's like you plant the seeds and you got to work on them, right? You got to work every day. So the day that I decided to do this is really around the same time that I decided to sit open houses, like a lot of open houses. I used to sit Saturday and Sunday. I was one of the few people in the city sitting open houses on a Saturday, right? And why Saturday? Because I didn't have anything else to do. I mean, I wanted to put the hours. I wanted to put the work. I wanted to meet people. I mean, guess if I sat 3 hours on a Saturday, I met one person. That's one more person that I didn't have in my database, right? And I can tell you, I mean, if I go back, I mean, I show people that work with me my notes. I mean, little workbooks like this, where I go back and I'm like, I met John at this house on this address. And I go, I sold that property twice. I sold the land, and then they built a house. A developer called me back and I sold it, and then you start realizing, oh my God, this stuff works. I mean, this really, really works. But that was for me, literally grabbing one of those workbooks, going in my car, parking my car, and walking and door knocking. I'm literally taking we didn't have iPhones at the time. I mean, that sounds crazy. It makes me feel like I'm really old, but technology's evolved really fast. I'm talking about 2003, 2004, when they just, the cameras, it wasn't something that you use. I mean, at least me, I didn't really use to take pictures of everything like I do now. So I was like taking notes of the address. I was I take it back. I was taking a picture of the progress of the house. Or I was taking a picture of the street, something that will get me to remember when I met someone. So if I met someone and there was something to follow up in there, I will be like, make a note, the address, then go to the office, print the public records, look at, the loan. I mean, just learn a lot about it. And I start to look at books that I've done from the past. And I'm like, oh my God, out of these 20 properties that I wrote down in there, and that year I sold 5 of them or 4 of them or whatever, right? So put the work, get out there, and do the work feeling good about it, okay? And don't expect results immediately. It's not going to happen right away. It's going to take time. So when you go out and you work it, it might take weeks, it might take months, but it will work. And once it starts working, you continue to do this. Is a creative process, okay? And the other thing is, when you're thinking about that, the way how you look at it is like, what if I do this and doesn't work? I think you might want to change to thinking that I'm going to do this knowing that it will work. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to keep trying until it works. Because guess what? Anyone that has succeeded in life, anyone that is achieved their goals has failed a lot. They just don't talk about it. I mean, you don't hear about the 1,000 times the Thomas Edison failed before he invented the light bulb. You don't hear about how many times, I mean, you name it. I mean, Walt Disney. I mean, go do yourself a favor. Go on Google when we finish. Famous, successful people failures. You're gonna see Walt Disney. You're gonna see a number of people, like famous people out there that have failed a lot of times. I mean, Steve Jobs. I mean, there are tons of people, and look the way they were. I mean, the guy from Kentucky Fried Chicken. I mean, what's Jack Ma from Alibaba? I mean, the guy got rejected at Harvard, I think 15 times. I mean, he got rejected at McDonald's. The guy's like, I couldn't even land a job in McDonald's, and now he's a billionaire. So don't get discouraged before you even start, because that's already you're giving up from the beginning. It'll be like ludicrous, right? So I'm not trying to, I don't even know who the person is. I don't want to mention names or anything, but I'm like, the whole thing for this is to I want to help and I want to share my experiences. And I think that you got to stop thinking that it's not going to work. Just do it. Do it, put the work. I promise you it's going to work. I promise you. And you know, it gets a little hard in the beginning and it's discouraging and you see your current situation, but your current situation doesn't have to be your future situation. If you want to see changes, they don't happen immediately. If you want to see changes, you need to start living a certain way now. So here, that will change. If you act this way here, doesn't mean that you're going to get what you want right here. It takes time. So to have this here, you need to act certain way here, because if you keep doing the same things, don't expect that this is going to change. Okay. So one of the things that I also talk, I mean, when I go to the Skirball Center with Steve Scholl, who you met last week or the week before, and I speak there, and it's mostly for real estate agents. I oftentimes, after I speak, you know, we open for Q&As, 2 or 3 people raise their hand, and there's always something they asks. Thank you so much. This is great. But can you please just tell us the secret? Can you please tell us just tell us what is the secret? I mean, it's got to be something that you do well in the real estate. Just tell us. I'm like, I told you. And even if I literally lie down what the door knocking or this or what to do or what to say on everything, the secret to me is execution. Okay. There are too many dreams. There are too many goals, too many ideas, too many things that never get done because most people drop the ball in the execution. And I'm like, I tell you, if you're in a room for 200 people and you tell them exactly what to do, the secret, within 3 months, if you come back to that room again, if 2 people are doing it, it will be a lot. If 5 people are doing a lot, because they drop the ball. So execution, and I ask this question to a lot of successful clients. I mean, I'm always asking questions. I'm always wanting to learn and get better. And since I'm exposed to high caliber people and very successful people, I usually, when there is an opportunity, I'm like, let me ask you a few questions. You know, when was the time that something changed? What did you do? What do you feel was the moment where you felt like things changed and you really got to the next level? And I ask those kind of questions all the time. And more often than, you know, like 5 times out of 6 times or 5 times out of 7 times, the successful people will be like, execution. Everybody has great ideas and they die as great ideas because they don't make them happen, you know? So there are no limitations to your mind, but those we acknowledge. So everything we acknowledge becomes a limitation. Everything that we like, you know, I'm going to do all that, but what if it doesn't work? That's right there, a limitation that just got created. It wasn't there, but it just got created. So execution is one of the most important things, I think, to be successful in anything you do. Anything. I mean, with your friends, if you have a relationship with a friend and you having issues or something, I mean, if you don't execute and do certain things to change it, to get it better, it's not going to change, right? So I'm done with that portion of it. I really, really encourage on people on putting the work ethic, execution, getting out there and make it happen. No one will make it happen for you, but you need to be the one doing it. You need to put that, you need to feel that change, you know. We cannot allow the environment, like, you know, affect our psychology. I mean, we need to be strong in a way where, like right now, you know, I had certain goals for this year. I have not changed my goal, although in the last, 2 months, I guess, the sales that was supposed to do, a lot of them fail and fell out of escrow or whatever. But I don't want to allow my psychology to get changed because of the environment we are right now. You see, the environment that you are or what you see around you cannot affect your focus and your goal. If it doesn't happen at the end, that's fine. You know, I mean, yes, the world's changed, the economy's changed or whatever, but you'll get at the end having that same goal, and I talk about changing goals before, if you have that goal and you didn't get there and you got close, or you got 60% of that goal, you're going to feel better. But what happens is if you adjust and you let that environment affect your psychology, and you adjust your goals and you adjust your way of thinking and your inspiration or everything lower, then you probably get 60% of that, which is going to be less than 50 or 60% of the original goal. So I think we need to don't let that affect us. I mean, I spoke many times. I mean, built my business in the midst of the last recession, and the reason why I did that is I used to think different things. I used to think like, okay, well, this that guy that is still selling. I mean, he sold this house, this house, this house. If he's selling, it's got to be a way how to sell too. I mean, I have to be able to sell not what he's selling, but 25% of what he's selling. So that kind of thinking got me to go out there and be motivated to see more open houses, to do more of this and to do more of that, to call more people and do whatever, right? So I think that we need to make sure that you are so focused and you are so into what you want, where you want to be, that whatever happens around you shouldn't affect you in a way that is going to change what you're thinking. This might sound a little cliche or no, but I mean, I like to repeat things. I repeat a lot of things for myself. I watch videos over and over again. I listen to people over and over again. I read books over and over again, because I think repetition is key. And the reason why you want to work hard is because we all know when you're a little kid, if you work hard for something and you got a toy or you got a book or you got a whatever, a bicycle, the harder you work, the more you appreciate it. When things come too easy, you don't really appreciate them. I experienced that my whole life. I still experience that. When you work hard, is then when you're going to appreciate the most. And that feeling that when you get something because it's been very hard to get it, it's the most amazing feeling, you know. I mean, that's really what fulfills you, and that's really, to me, success, because you're fulfilled, right? If you're not fulfilled, then you don't have any success in my eyes. And well, that's something that I learned from Tony Robbins, and I like to repeat it because I really believe in that. So let's talk a little bit about what are the things that we control. We always talk about this, right? What we control, what we don't control, and thing. But I'm gonna put it in a different way now. The what's the power that we have? Power that we have, I think, is the power of choice, right? We have the power of choice, and to choose what? To choose three things. We have the power to choose what we focus on, you know, and that's why we do all this, and that's why the meditation, and that's why the incantations, and that's why the visualizations. Why? Because you deliberately choosing what you want to think and what you want to focus on. So we have a choice to do that. We can choose to do that. Okay, so if the situation, it is what it is, can't get out of the house, the economy is hurting, the stock market is going down, the housing market is doing this, whatever kind of job that you are into. And I'm sure that most of the people that are listening to these real estate agents, so that's why I give most of the examples in that, and no other than that, also because it's my personal life and experience, so I can only speak for what I know. You know, all that's going to be and it's going to happen. There's nothing you can go out there and make a call or whatever is going to change that. It's going to change. It's going to go through the cycle. It's going to happen what needs to happen, and it's going to turn around, and it's going to come back or whatever. But you have the choice to what you want to focus. You can choose what you want to focus on. Two, you can choose the meaning of things, right? Let's go back to the parking ticket. What does that mean? What is the meaning? Because things are, and we give them meaning, right? And the meaning we give is what really creates a feeling. So if I go and I think like, oh my God, I got a ticket, and start thinking about all the bad stuff of getting a ticket and this and that, I'm giving a bigger meaning than what really is. But if you just choose, right, to give a different meaning, parking ticket, okay, that's a warning. You know, it's teaching me that I shouldn't park here or whatever it is. And then you just go, it's like, oh, it's $80. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I mean, I really needed that money, but maybe I won't buy that whatever that I wanted to buy, and I'll pay the ticket, and that's done. And you pay it, and it's done. And you give it a lot smaller meaning. So all of a sudden, it's not that bad, you know. So choose what you want to focus on. Choose the meaning you want to give to things, and choose what to do. Choose what to do about things, right? And that they're all together, right? If you choose what to do of writing a check and getting done with the ticket and be done with it, you chose that. If you don't choose to do that, then you'll be torturing yourself for as long as until you get that thing paid, because you're gonna have to pay it, you know. Um, so this week, I think that I'm done. I want to open up half of the time, or 30 minutes, 25 minutes, whatever's left for questions. I'm gonna move this a little bit here so I can read all the questions. I see. Let me start with people here on Instagram. Guys, if you can start firing up some questions, go ahead. I'm glad that there you go. Okay, someone is asking me, there's someone really nice in here say, hello, I put my alarm every week to join your live. You have great energy. Thank you for doing this live. Hope you're doing these lives from now on. Thank you. So yes, it's something I've been thinking about it. I'm really enjoying doing this. I enjoy talking. I enjoy the questions. I enjoy seeing people that actually are interested to hear what I have to say. You know, I love talking about the stuff that I believe. It reminds me, it keeps me in track. So the answer is yes. I don't know if when we go back to work or everything, it will continue to be Wednesdays at 10 o'clock. We'll continue to do that for now. I'm gonna also work a little bit more on having a, you know, setup of questions and things in a way where it's easier, where people can ask questions the day before, so I can just address the questions after. It was a suggestion from a friend that I haven't really had the chance to do. I want to find a way how to improve this and continue to do it. But thank you for that. Let's see who else here. I'm glad that I opened it up today for. Someone asked me if I'm studying Dr. Joe Dispenza. Yes, of course. It's one of my favorites. It's like what Mr. Robbins says, knowledge is great, but power is in execution and follow through. Absolutely. I mean, you can read all the books in the world, but if you don't do anything about it, it's good for nothing. There is Angela Carrasco here asking, what do you recommend to new agents to keep positive now? I mean, this, what we're doing right now, helps. The reason why I do this, and the reason why I also do, like, you know, a course within my company every September about Think and Grow Rich, is because when you go into times like this and you have a little extra time, this support helps you go through those times. It helps you keep in track, helps you keep positive, helps you spiritually. So what I recommend to new agents is setting up goals, filling up your schedule. I did a talk yesterday. I was invited to speak with Steve Scholl and people that coach with him. There were over 300 people, I think. And he wanted me to talk about time blocking. And I think that's a key thing when you're starting, because you have so much time and your calendar is empty. You don't really have a lot of appointments yet. So I think that one of the key things is fill up your schedule everything, schedule door knocking, schedule cold calling, schedule your haircut, schedule your lunch. And when you go to lunch, try to invite someone that you can pick their brain or learn something about it. Anyone that is, you know, more seasoned than you. Just fill up your schedule, and then complement with reading these books and doing all the things that we're talking about here. Let me switch a little bit to my Zoom guys over here so I can answer those questions. Okay. Cristobal Matos, I agree, execution is key, work ethic, massive action, but to execute, you need to know what to do on a daily basis, right? Yeah, that's correct. On a daily, on a monthly, on an hourly, on a yearly. How do you approach execution and drill down from the end annual goal? Example, 500 million. How do you choose what to focus on? Okay, so I mean, it's very simple. I'll give you an example. For me to sell 500 million, I kind of know what my price range of houses that I sell is by looking at data, right? You have data, you go back in the years and see how much you normally sell, you do an adjustment and you set up your goal, and you know that if a year, you know, for me, I sell between 28 and 34 houses, depending on what the price ranges are. I know kind of an idea how many I need to sell or whatever. And I also have the listings that I have, and I know if I have an inventory of X amount of dollars, if I sell all those houses, then I need to just add a few more buyers and new things will come, a referral here and there. And you just kind of get an idea. So something very personal, I think, but you need to break it down on literally monthly, weekly, daily, hourly. Okay. Daniel Ness, what's up, buddy? He says, Santi, what advice would you tell your younger self? Hugs, amen. Look, I mean, that's a very popular question, right? What advice do you give to your younger self? I mean, the one thing I would have advised myself is getting to do these things sooner, because I got introduced to this and I started at the age of 24. Yeah. And when I started doing this, honestly, when I started to open up my eyes to this stuff, I started to cry, and I was like, why nobody told me this before? I mean, why is it that I never read this book before? So I mean, it would be great if we can, learn this in high school, or at least in college. You learn so many things that you're never going to use. I mean, that's a whole conversation about education and what we learn and what they teach us out there. And there's a lot of necessary stuff. But why they didn't give us these kind of books when we are there? So that's one of the things. And I think the advice is to do things sooner, to take action sooner. But then again, sometimes you're not prepared for it. Sometimes you're not ready for it. So let's go back to Instagram here. I see a lot of people are asking. Okay, from Texas, David says, I'm in my first year in real estate in Texas and would like to move to California. Should I save enough money to just move and start? What do you recommend? I mean, look, this is something I think very personal. I don't know really your finances, your situation, but if truly what you want to do is end up here, I will start doing a lot of research on how much life costs here. And yes, definitely you want to have savings enough to move here. And if you want to start from scratch, which I did, I moved here from nothing. It will take a period of time for you to generate, and I think you just need to calculate that and plan on getting some sort of income in here while you get into be successful in real estate or start selling here in California. Alex Tanelian. What is your advice, tips for new agent in residential real estate? Okay, so it seems like there's a lot of new agents in here. So I'm gonna just kind of answer in general for all the new agents. Is if you're starting in this business, just the one thing I want to say is make it very clear that it's not a sprint race. I know that a lot of you guys watch the TV shows and the $1 Million Listing and see how great and glamorous it is and driving the nice cars and going in the beautiful houses and all that kind of stuff. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work. There are a lot of people in this business, and it's a marathon. It's not a sprint race. Don't come in and think that in 2 years you're going to be there. It takes time. I mean, it took me a lot longer. Some people do it shorter and some people never do it. But if you put the hours, you put the work, it's going to happen. For sure, it happens. I mean, it happened to me. There's no reason why it shouldn't happen to any of you. But as new agents, you need to be conscious of that. So just work very hard. You need to work and outwork everybody else. You need to do more than what everybody else is doing. And that's about it. Work hard and learn and prepare yourself and get better and improve yourself and learn and read books. And, that's all you can do. There's another question here from Jazz Apple One. Some economists have predicted once this is done, the real estate market will pull us out of the recession. What do you think? I mean, look, there's a lot of talk out there what's going to happen. I personally think that actually, we were past due to go into a down cycle. It's normal. There is cycles in real estate. It's been happening for, forever. What has happened is the economy was doing great. The interest rates were going low. That has sustained the real estate market where we were for a little longer than what it should have. But now, because of this, I think we were forced to go into that down cycle. How deep that cycle is going to be, how long it's going to take, nobody knows. My guess is that probably is going to be at least a year of down cycle. And what does that mean, though? Does that mean that nothing sells? Does that mean that, oh my God, we're screwed for a year? No, that means you need to adjust to a different kind of market. You know, there are different kind of markets. You know, we were in a big sellers market. Now it's a buyers market. Now perhaps you want to work with your buyers. You know, a lot of people start going out there and they're looking for deals. They're looking to buy. Not to mention there are people they have to buy no matter what. People need to buy houses. They outgrown the houses. They buy a first time home. They downsize. There is divorces. There is, I mean, a lot of things that happen that people change lifestyles and they need to buy and sell. So don't feel like the economy changes. I mean, you might not be selling as much, but there's always opportunity. There's always opportunity out there. So you need to adjust to different markets. It's just going to be a different market. But those are the times I believe, because it's happened to me, that you can take advantage of gaining market share, you know, like in anything, the stock market, you know, when everybody's pulling their money, that's what you should be buying. When everybody's buying, that's what you shouldn't be buying. You know, like you need to kind of use that kind of psychology. Let's go here. Zoom. How would you like, Mario, how would you approach or deal with a partner who you are stuck with due to contractual reasons without criticizing, condemning, or complaining? Not sure if you ever had that experience. I actually never had, I mean, partners. Well, actually, I did. Very short period of time, I had a partner, and you know, you just contracts are made, and contracts can be broken. Things are not working out. I'm sure they're not working out for both sides. I mean, you know, I can imagine a partnership with one person is not happy that works well, right? So I think that needs to be talked. I think you need to find a way how to be in a place where you feel happy and comfortable and work that out. I mean, I don't know. I don't really have an answer for how to make something work that is not working out. Definitely not criticizing. I think that's a choice, you know. Criticizing, judging, and all that is something that you should avoid. Some people do certain things and different than us. We're in different places. Doesn't mean that him, her, or whoever it is wrong or right, or you or whatever. I will step out of that one and just focus on more. This is not working. What can we do to work? You know, it's nothing to do with you doing this or me doing that or criticizing or anything like that. I will stay away from that. That will actually make things more complicated. There is an anonymous attendee that says, how do you deal with rejection, such as when you lose a listing, when a friend use another agent or stuff like that? Oh my God, this is great. I used to, hold on. I got to a point where I made a point that I actually got fired up by rejection. And I just did that for myself. I wanted to not feel that way anymore. I didn't want to feel that someone else give the listing to someone else for whatever reason. And I started to think about and look at it from the way, okay, it's your loss. You didn't give me the listing. Wish you, and always wish the best of luck to people. Never send negative, bad, angry energy out there, because that comes right back to you. So I would say, go and send good vibes, wish them the best. A lot of times that turns out around and comes back right to you on getting the listing back or whatever. But rejection fires me up. When someone tells me that I cannot do something, it's just the one thing that I needed for me to go and work harder and make it happen, just to prove that I can do it. So the best way to avoid rejection, and this is one of the things that I learned early, is I used to be afraid of things, and I decided to not to be fearful anymore. And I heard that one time Will Smith was talking about this, that he was afraid of fear, and he's big on this, right? And I was like, that was me too. So when you're afraid of something, just attack it. Like if you're afraid, I hate being afraid of stuff. So, you know, you attack it. Like if you are afraid of rejection, just get rejected more, and you'll realize that doesn't kill you. Rejection doesn't kill you. Just be on top of it. You need to attack it. Okay. Let me go back here at our friends on Instagram. Okay, there's someone asking a question here. The name is I don't think I need to mention because it's not really a name. I think it's just most like a nickname. Do you have, do you need to know exactly what you want? What if you don't know the details? I mean, look, I don't think you need to know exactly. I mean, there are people they do. I certainly have a pretty good idea of what I want or where I want to be, but it might not be, it's not going to be exactly. I can tell you right now, it's not going to be exactly. Why? Because in the period of time it's going to take for you to get it, you're going to change where you might not want that anymore. It'll be pretty close, but there's going to be adjustments. I mean, I adjust my goal, my big goal, many times. I mean, I even have a speech that I give that I visualize every night, giving that birthday that I mentioned to a lot of you guys. That speech changed. It's changed. Why? Because I started when I didn't have kids, and now I have kids. So I need to introduce my kids into the speech, or whatever it is. You know, I mean, maybe I wanted to be in a certain place, and I don't want to be there anymore. I want to be here. So not exactly, but you need to have a pretty good idea. Like you need to know, I wanna be a dad. I wanna be married. I wanna own a house here or whatever it is. You either want to be married and have kids or you don't. And unless you're young where you don't really know, which is fine. But I think when it comes to goals, you need to have a pretty good idea where you want to be. I think, and it changed and we'll move around a little bit, but the main goal should be in the same direction. Um, Dan Real Estate. Hey, what's up, Dan? You mentioned execute as the secret sauce, but what you need to mention is that you need to have confidence and courage in order to execute. Absolutely. And that's why we're talking about all these things. And that's why we talk about preparing yourself. And you being scared that might not happen is not going to give you the confidence to go and door knock. And you go and door knock, people are going to realize that you're scared and they're not going to want to talk to you. So absolutely, yes. Thank you for that. You need to have the courage, you need to have the confidence, you need to develop confidence. And this is what we talk in the first day or the second day, is how you develop self-confidence. And we can touch again into that. I mean, you develop self-confidence by repeating to yourself, by creating incantations, by doing meditations, by doing visualization, by doing all these exercises, by reading all the books that I'm continuing to put in there. Yes, you develop that confidence by waking up early, by meditating, know what you want, going exercising, feeling good about yourself when you look in the mirror, and then you go and meet someone and you are the best presentable. Some people ask me like, why do you wake up at 4:30? Why you do that? Why you jump in the ocean? Because of that. That gives me the confidence and makes me feel good, and that gets me to go out there and be my better self, right? Uh, Roger, besides meditations, what else do you keep keeps you focused? It's also my birthday. Well, happy birthday. I mean, I think that I don't want to, repeat and repeat for the people that have heard this already. Roger, maybe you want to go into my YouTube channel, it's Santiago Arana Official. Just go in there, and if you go to episode 1, 2, then it's everything that I mentioned in there on how to keep focus. And there's also some book suggestions in there. Okay, there's Kim here. Hey, Kim, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you, Santiago. My question is, do you think a coach, a therapist is more beneficial to help someone with moving forward to deal with their emotional distraction? Yeah, I mean, I think that, again, you need to work on yourself from the inside, but there is nothing wrong of having a friend, a coach, a mentor. I surround myself with mentors. I mean, I have coaches. You met Steve last week for the real estate portion of it. But it's always good to have someone that you can bounce ideas, get things from different perspectives, have friends that can help you have. And if you need a more professional individual to help you with that, absolutely. I mean, I think that there's a reason why those people are out there. And you need to choose someone that can help you go through whatever it is that you're going through, to give you the tools, to give you ways how to get to the next level. Okay. How do you see real estate brokers reopening offices up to? Do you envision to workflow? I'm a recruiter for the real estate industry. This is Lisa Girly Girl. Industry, what advice do you have for me in recruiting? I mean, look again. I mean, as you can see, we're talking right now, and there is a bunch of questions from new agents. Most of them are new agents, and they're all asking these questions. I mean, there's a lot of people that are getting into the business. There are a lot of people that, there's a lot of companies that might not be in business anymore. So there's going to be an opportunity for to capture on those agents. So I think that the way I see it is markets change. There are busier markets than other ones, but there are always markets and there's always sales and it always happens and there are always people getting licenses and working in real estate. And I think that you just need to watch how that's going to change and adjust to the changes and continue to do what you do. Okay, this is a good question. How long do you think it take to do mindset change? Well, that's an excellent question. Why? Because there's not a time or how long it's going to take. It's all about you. The mindset is a choice, and you need to set up that mindset and find the ways. And all I'm trying to do with this is sharing my experience on how I change and how I work on my mindset. That might not work for everybody, but that's all I have, right? I mean, I only can share what I experience. But I think that there's not a specific date. I think that the timing on how long it's going to take is based on how much you're working on it and how much effort that you're putting into it and how connected that you are with what you want. You can work on your mindset. That's something that discipline will get you to develop mindset. You need to do certain routines, certain things that change your mindset. You need to fill up your schedule on all the things that we discuss here, because that's going to keep you focused. And that's really your mindset, is that, it's keeping good, keeping focused, waking up, doing exercise, this, no matter what's happening around it, you're doing the same thing to get where you want. That can be a month, that can take a year, it's all going to depend on how you put the work into your mindset. Let me see in Zoom, what questions are these? There's someone here, Lizzie, how can I attend to your course in September? Is it close to only your company? Yeah, Lizzie, how are you? I got a lot of people ask that question, and that's why I decided to upload that into my YouTube channel, because for logistic reasons, it is only for the agency. If I decide to open up that later, I mean, I will make sure that I'll let all of you know. But for now, I think that I have 2 years worth of the course that I do in my office, the Think and Grow Rich, and you can just go and watch all of those in my YouTube channel. Again, Santiago Arana Official. Just sign up on that one. I mean, there's a couple of channels that they're in there. One was something that I created a long time ago. That was a mistake, and for some reason I've been having a hard time to YouTube deleting it. Reach out many times. So just go and look for Santiago Arana Official channel, and I'm with a white t-shirt like this, V-neck, and a black leather jacket. That's the channel you want to be looking at. That's where all the stuff is. Another question here from Victoria. My family have been watching together these post weeks. Question in terms of family. Do you have your family work together with visualization, goals, meditating? My wife does her own visualization meditations. My wife's actually been into this longer than me. She's the one who introduced me to all this stuff. So yes, the answer is yes, she does it. When it comes to the kids, absolutely, they see me doing this. They were in the balcony a little bit ago listening to what I say up there. They see, sometimes they wake up and they see me meditate in my meditation room or at night. They kind of observe, and I think children and family observe and learn from the parents. So it's something that we live here, and I think that they're learning and they're practicing, and I also give them little exercises to do. What is good with kids to do for visualizing, one of the things that I saw them enjoy a lot is the vision boards. When you pick magazines and then you let them cut what you let them cut what they want, what are their things that they want, and you teach them, it's not about material things only. How about cut peace, the word peace, and put it in your vision board, and love, and what about a picture of a happy family, and put it in there, and you just start kind of give them direction on where to go. So vision boards is a fun thing to do with kids to get into this stuff, because while they're doing it, they're in that state of mind and they're happy, and then you just need to tell them, how do you how do you feel when you were doing that? Were you happy? Were you excited? They love it. They love doing that. So they've experienced that it's a choice for them to have that feeling, that state of mind. So while they're doing it, they're feeling really good. So they want to do it again. Same as with meditation and visualization. And you just tell them, like, look, you don't need to only cut pictures. Now you can sit down, close your eyes, and imagine where you want to be and what you want to do. And they get it. They get it a lot faster than us. And that's why I said, why is it that they don't teach us this stuff younger, sooner, but hope that answers your question. I have another one here. From Christina. Hey, Christina, how are you? Santi, if given one choice, would you sign up for coaching with Tony Robbins and his team, or Tom Ferry, Brian Buffini, team for coaching, personal versus targeted for real estate? To me, if you ask me that question, my answer personally, I would tell you Tony Robbins, because it covers a lot more, I think. Yes, personal versus professional or real estate. I believe that if you work in your personal staff, then you can apply it to anything. But again, I mean, I heard Tom Ferry is a great coach. So nothing bad to say about that. I think that any kind of coaching is great. But if I have to choose me personally between those two, I will go for Tony Robbins for sure. Rosa Jasso, when you're facing rejection, here it goes again, rejection. So we'll talk a little bit on that one. How do you know if you are reaching with self-worth and dignity or ego? It's hard to figure it out sometimes. You gotta kind of put your feelings aside. It's okay to feel, right? So you get rejected, you feel bad, you feel a little sad, you feel rejected, but then you need to snap out of it and just move on, and don't take it personal. Don't take it personal. Everybody can make a choice. Everybody has the ability to make a choice who they want to work with. You choose to go to get a haircut at a certain place, and then I don't like that person anymore, and then you switch. That's a sort of rejection, but you have the freedom to take that choice. So you cannot, take things personal. I think that ways how to know is, if you are not getting over the rejection, then you're looking at it from your ego. You just can't deal with it because you cannot understand why you get rejected. But if you can get over quickly, and then you just move on and wish them good luck and leave that rejection in a positive way, then you know that you that's the right thing to do. When it comes to dignity, I think that someone choosing to work with someone else and the rejection, that doesn't necessarily should affect your dignity, because you are who you are and you have the value you have, and you don't need to let anyone make you feel that you're worth what you're worth by just not choosing to work with you. They're two separate things, I think. So you are who you are, you're amazing, you're great, and there's a reason why that person didn't choose you. That doesn't affect who you are, and it changes or affects your dignity, okay? Let me switch back to Instagram here. I see there's popping a lot of questions here. Okay, this is good. I mean, a lot of things happening with this stuff. How do you keep excitement up when you visualize about the same thing every day? I don't get the same excitement every single time when I visualize. That's correct. Sometimes you're more excited or not, and that's why I told you to pick maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 things that get you excited. Like, I have my birthday, I have my boat experience, I have my, there's different experiences that I want to experience and I visualize. And there are some nights that I just sit and start with one and I'm like having a little hard time. So I switch to the other one and then it flows easily. So you just need to practice and adjust it. There's not a rule that works for everybody. You need to kind of learn how to work around it. And if that's not getting you excited, if me thinking about being on a boat in the middle of the Mediterranean is not getting me super excited, which usually does. I mean, I'm getting excited right now just to think about it. I'll think about something else. I think about eating that thing that I wanted to eat, or being with someone. I mean, anything that's going to generate that emotion, you just choose, and you're going to start feeling good about it and flowing, then just choose that. We're almost done here. We have about 2 minutes. Let me go a few more questions here. Have you listened to Abraham Hicks about the law of attraction? Do you recommend it? 100%. Abraham Hicks, I had all the tapes. I read the book. It's amazing. I highly recommend it. Joe Sakovic, what's up, man? The best for you and your family too. Thanks for being here. Haven't seen you in a long time. Uh, yeah, someone's asking here, Hassan, do you have a real estate coach? When you just first got into business? No, I didn't. I couldn't afford it. So I knew about Steve Scholl, but I couldn't afford it. I saw it coming in and out of my office in Keller Williams and Beverly Hills. And I just was like, one day I'm going to be able to afford a coach. So I didn't. So what I did is I looked for stuff where I could coach myself or videos, tapes, again, Abraham Hicks tapes, Tony Robbins tapes, or whatever it is that I was coaching myself that cost a lot less than a coach at the moment. Couldn't afford it. You gotta be realistic too. So Javier Ruiz asked, what is your current business schedule or routine? I talk about this many times. I'm going to say it one more time very quickly. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drink a big glass of water with lemon. I wash my face with cold water. I go and meditate and pray and do gratitude exercises and visualization. Then I go to the gym. I work out, exercise. While I'm exercising to take advantage of the time, I usually listen to an audiobook, and a lot of them I've been sharing with you. And very important, I do not look at my cell phone until I'm out of the gym. So I wake up at 4:30 and I don't look at my cell phone until 7:15 in the morning. Why? Because that's my time. This is the time where you think about yourself, where your mind is clear and it's not clutter. You don't want to clutter it with bad text messages from someone or an email with some sort of thing that's going to get your mind to go into different directions. You're going to keep a focus on who you are, what you're grateful for, where you want to be, what your goals. With that question, I think I'm going to finish. Then I go my day, business from 7 o'clock. I go to work. I come back home around 6 o'clock, 6:30, have dinner with the family, spend time with the family, put my phone away for a little bit, and then meditate and visualize before I go to bed. Instagram's going to shut off in 4 seconds. Thank you, guys. See you next week. Appreciate all your questions and being here.